You're right.
Oh, we are live. We are live. Hi, everyone. I am Franz, and he is Hans.
And we are here to pump the Bitcoin up.
We are here to pump up all the altcoins because we don't have the volume. We can only manipulate so much. So we're going to pick some altcoins that none of you have heard of before, and we are going to use that coin to tell everybody to come into it so we can pump it up, and then we're going to dump it down. So get ready, everyone. So if you are interested in being part of what Hans is doing, wait, I'm Hans and he is Franz. What Franz is doing, he's doing a trading. If you want to learn how to trade like Franz, you can go to the Watch Us Trade room. That's at watchustrade.io or WUT.live. Where for $7 is still running, buddy. 7 for 7. You can't beat it with a stick. And this is the 2016 all over again. You want to position yourself for the next run up. Now's the time to do it. Learn how it's done over at the Watch Us Trade room. Go to WT.live or watchustrade.io, because if you don't know, you need to ask somebody. And with that being said, Cowboy, what's crack-a-lacking, brother?
You know what I got to do? I got to actually post the link so that people actually know that we are going live. So give me just a moment here.
Yeah, do it, Franz. Do it now. And while
I got to hit the mute button to blow my nose. I blow my nose like a trumpet. And
that's fine. Do it, man. It's like the Arc de Triomphe in France, yeah?
Oh, yeah, I blow the trumpet. Oh,
yeah.
We are French now. I like to blow the trumpet. And I like to go down the street in Paris, and I blow the trumpet. And all of the women there come my way.
Don't blow it too loud. Emmanuel Macron, he might get scared.
This is the idea. I see the Emmanuel Macron coming down the street. I blow my trumpet and I say, Macron, you are a strange man. You are the victim of probably some type of diddle from the teacher when you were little. And now you have become president of France, where you have no real effect that is positive. I think you should go somewhere where the sun does not shine and stay there.
Yes, very well said. Very well said. Okay, so since you have pasted the link, you see that Bitcoin went down a little bit under the 4,000 handle. It is currently at 3,689.36 as the global average index. So what do you think is going on? What do you think is happening? Where are we headed for the rest of this week?
Well, the reality is that I want to see a very strong break before I would enter, because we had the big dip last night, and before I enter, I want to see a strong, clean break of 36.50. This is on, by the way, this is on Binance, so I am talking about the Binance price. The price action is going to reflect the same thing across all exchanges. So we want to look at basically this small block right here that I am circling. And if we could have a clean I became German for a second. If we have a clean and sustained break above this line here, perhaps 1 or 2 hour bars would to close, then I probably would enter with a stop loss, perhaps below these lows right here. And at this time, I would need to see a couple more signs of confirmation. Generally, I do not know these signs are until I see them. There are so many kinds. So this is what we are looking for. I did expect to see this 3,500 and 3,550 line to be well defended. I expected to see plenty of people buying this back up here. And this is what we are seeing. That does not mean we will continue to see it. In fact, we probably won't. So this is Bitcoin. This is what we are looking at right now. You know, and to recap, to go backwards a little bit, to look at the history, we had this up right here, and I actually, once we broke the 3900, I actually got in. I thought perhaps we would go above these 41 and 4200 line right here, and it looked as if we could. Unfortunately, we did not. But fortunately, I got the idea that we would not. And the reason I did is I saw what they call here as this is a shooting star doji. Allow me to actually expand this, make it easier to see. And I noticed it on the 4 hour. It is worth a look on the 1 hour, but what I actually will do is I will shortly expand to the 4 hour so we can see it in a much better way, because there is a past history of seeing this type of shooting star, and when we see that, the price generally will go down within a day or so. So I will show you. I actually have on my trading view, I called that it would go down, and this is exactly what it did. My trading view is Crypto Cowboy 2020. Sorry, forgive me, Crypto Cowboy 2030.
You're no longer, you should rename yourself Crypto Croissant.
Crypto Croissant.
Yes.
I am the Crypto Croissant. Oui. So
yeah, we're really running it with this rich stuff.
Yeah, we're going for it. So this actually is the chart, so I'm expanding it right now. And I'll put back the circle that I erased before, but I had a one of these blue ellipses right here. And I had, and you guys can go on the Crypto Cowboy 2030 on TradingView to see it. But I had basically this chart. And so if you look historically, and you can go back further to more history, but if you look historically, when you see these shooting star doji, and oftentimes other formations around it, you can pretty much, you can see that you'll see them and they go down. In fact, we had two here with a massive fall, which is, maybe coincidental, that there are two and a big fall as opposed to just one and a big fall. But we have this one here and a fall. We have this one here and a fall. And of course, these shooting stars are important, but they're not confirmed until the following candle. I'm going to expand this so people can learn a little bit. When you see a shooting star like this, the price can still go up. Once this 4 hour candle completes, it means that's this one candle right here. That's 4 hours of price action. So it takes all this time. And what this story that this candle tells is that the bulls were pushing up really hard, and then the bears pushed right back down. So the bulls kind of lost the battle. That's why you have that big wick. It's actually similar to what happened right here, except that it's in two candles. So if I were to zoom out to a higher time frame, these two candles will look just like this one candle. So it's the same story. The bulls pushed up really high, and then the bears pushed back down. So this is how this price action works. So with all of that said, what we're looking at is, that happened right here. This is actually called the hanging man. So this happened right here, and then you have a bearish candle after that. So you have this shooting star, and then you have a lower low, lower close candle after that. That's confirmation that the shooting star is going to probably be bearish. And then you have the shooting star with the same confirmation right here, and then we went down. Another example right here, shooting star, confirmation with a lower low, lower close and went down. Also, this is known as a evening star when you have that kind of formation where you have a big green candle, shooting star, big red candle. It's, that's another one. You have this shooting star right here. It's barely a shooting star, but still, you had a lower low, lower close after that. I'd have to really do some measurement to know if this truly is a shooting star based on my rules. Some people have different rules. Some people say it has to, be less than half the candle. Some people say 1/3. So it's all depending on your rules. Here's a great example right here. We have this kind of indecision candle up here, this doji red candle. So we have an idea that it's going to go down, but then we have this kind of, I don't want to use the word kiss of death. It kind of means something else, but just another nail in the coffin, shooting star. And then it just goes down. It's one of those things where, if you waited for confirmation, it was too late. And that does happen with Bitcoin. Shooting star, and then you're like, if you wait for confirmation, it's too late. So what I did was on this one, here's another example. So, I can show you, the whole show examples going back into history. But with this one, we had the luxury of waiting for this lower low, lower close candle after it, but I didn't, because at the time the chart didn't look like that. The chart looked, if you look all to the right, the chart looked like that. We didn't know it was going to come next, right? So when the next candle, excuse me, when the next candle hit and it just started to go down, and I just kind of looked at everything and I made a judgment call and I just got out, because I didn't want to end up like this one here where you have a shooting star and then it just goes down. You're just waiting for confirmation. So it's, and one of the reasons I knew to do that, mostly is because I just sit and watch Bitcoin, 12 hours a day, like a little baby watches a spinning fan. It's just something that, like, I don't think it makes me amazing. I don't think it makes me really smart. I think it just makes me incredibly obsessed. So I guess I have the right job. So, with that, whenever it's one of these BART heads where the price is just kind of like, this is like Bart Simpson's head, we call it a BART head. It has to do with an algorithm that we've explained a number of times in the show. Whenever it has that, I've noticed that when the price begins to pump up hard, and then it's, there's a lot of like heavy, like a volume spike, if you see down here. So there's a fair amount of action, and it tries to pumping and it gets slammed down on high volume. So it's kind of like almost a parabolic double situation. Then there's a good chance we're going to see a drop. And so I told everybody in the room, I'm getting out. So you know what? I just got in right here at 39.75 or whatever it was, and I'm getting right back out at 39.75. And a lot of traders would look at that sideways. Kind of like, hey, or you're not sticking with your decision or whatever. So, well, Bitcoin's special. It's a little bit different than a lot of your coins out there. And so if you understand Bitcoin and you know how to trade it, then you understand that there are some atypical things that you do as a trader. And it certainly paid off. So, and then like we talked about with our French accent earlier, it came down. It's being defended at the support. We're in another upside down BART head situation. We have this hammer right here, which is, not the worst sign. But we didn't get a higher close after that hammer. So I'm not convinced that we're going to go terribly bull just yet. And with the BART heads, sometimes these hammers just kind of don't matter. It's a weird thing that the algorithm is designed to disguise what will happen. So that's why people who try to read too much candle theory on the smaller time frames with Bitcoin end up in trouble. And it's done that way on purpose. It's done to trap buyers. It's done to trap sellers. It's done to confuse the hell out of people. So if you understand the algorithm and you understand how Bitcoin kind of works and moves, then you have a better chance. And the only way to do that is to just sit there and stare at it all day. So again, for what we possibly see coming with Bitcoin is if I can see like a break, somewhere above this and have it be there for at least a few hours, I'll probably buy in, and I'll have a stop loss somewhere, and I'll have a take profit somewhere. And everybody who's in the room is going to see what I'm doing. So that's that.
Very well put, my man. Very well put. Let's take a quick look at ETH. Or anybody have any questions or anything? Actually, let me just check the room out. See what's crack-a-lacking over here real quick. Nope, nobody has any questions. All right.
No, it's really quiet today. We didn't get the link up right away. That's something that usually Frank the Everseen does. I don't know.
Everseen. Everseen.
The Everseen. The mail order toy. He got told he's the Everseen because he was carrying a box of mail order toys out of some old lady's house, and she said he was the strongest man that she's ever seen. I think that's how it goes. I don't know if Frank's
that's how it goes.
Yeah, that's how it goes. I mean, if Frank
we completely ripped him apart for that one.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm even telling the story wrong, but
No, that's it, dude. That's the Cliff Notes version of the entire thing.
The Cliff Notes, poor Cliff High. But that's that. I mean, I don't, there's really no. It's kind of quiet today. Not that many people. Usually we're having like 100 people in the room, but like I said, we didn't really get the link up in time. So if anybody has any questions, then if anybody wants to see any coins, and right now, with Bitcoin being how it is, I pretty much exited all the altcoins.
Yeah.
What's interesting is that this morning I'm looking. Last night before I went to bed, all the altcoins were like, down 10% over 20. Excuse me. But basically, right now they're all up, say like 5%, 6%. So yeah, I think a lot of the market sees that we're at this support, and they think that Bitcoin is going to come up. And I read the IG client sentiment this morning,
Mm-hmm.
and I would say the concern is that a lot of people are net long, and right here at this point where we saw the big drop, IG client sentiment is off of Daily FX. So you just go to dailyfx.com. It's out there for everybody, and they're really good at just reading lists like forex pairs and understanding all that type of thing. And so here, the net longs were really high. So net long means that like a lot more people are long, which means that they have positions that are speculating that Bitcoin is going to rise. And if you look at, say, like Bitfinex and longs versus shorts, that's the same kind of thing. Like, you have a lot more people that think that Bitcoin is going to go up, and so they have long positions. Now, if I had and this is something that's important to learn, like from a very kind of basic level, if I were to go long right here at, say, 4,000, I'm looking at all the, well, we'll say like right here, so make it easy, right? So let's say I enter right here at like 39.80. And I'm looking at the price action, and I can see that in the very short term, we kind of keep bouncing off of this area. And in the midterm, this is kind of like a good support right here. And so I would have my stop losses here. Now, stop loss, what it really is, when you're long, when you are speculating that Bitcoin is going to go up, a stop loss, all it is it's a sell order. Okay. So if you can, like, let's just say that you are a market maker. A market maker is somebody who, they're the ones who they provide liquidity to exchanges. They're the big players. They're the ones that have the big orders on. And so if they want to get into something, retailers, I don't know what the percentage is in crypto. I know that in Forex, I think retail traders like 5%. So 95% of all your trades are just, big banks and market makers. And so what they do is they have algorithms where they know that the stop loss is going to be here and maybe even some are here. And then they push the price down to trigger all these people's stop losses. Now, when they push the price down, they're actually placing sell orders. So they are speculating on the price going down. It's like, what they don't want to do, though, is they don't want to just use all their own money to manipulate the price down. They know that all these buyers will become sellers once their stop losses are hit. So they push it down just enough to trigger these stops. And then they let those stop losses do the work for them. And then they push it down. You see there's this little kind of action right here where this support area actually acted, the price reacted to this order block, which the order block is more kind of like right here. So you can see where price reacted there, and they continue to push it down past there. So all of these stops ended up, getting triggered until they got down to here. And then, of course, once it got down to here, my assumption, and it's only an assumption, is that it cost too much money to come back through here. Because all the people who were long are now taken out of the market. Your net longs have gone down.
Yeah.
So this is where, and that's kind of a technical explanation. It does require a little understanding of markets to kind of assimilate that. But this is how it is. And now what's going to happen is, and it's really important to watch the longs. Now, I saw price action and I knew to get out. A lot of people actually were looking at the net longs versus shorts, and they knew to get out just because of that. So what will happen is, if manipulation occurs, the way that they'll probably do it is they'll build the price up a little bit to build up people's confidence. People will start putting in longs, and then they'll have stop losses. And then those stop losses will be again triggered if they want to sell into it. And, IG client sentiment this morning, actually, I think they need to update. I sent them a note. They need to update their assessment, because when you look at Bitfinex longs and shorts, that is only people who are trading crypto, or let's just say that they're crypto focused. And so they're like a little more aware. But the wider market, the retail market, like you're talking about Tom, Dick, and Harry trading on their cell phones from like, a village or whatever. They don't pay attention half the time to this kind of stuff. So, and like, if, most everybody is long and has been long for a long time on Bitcoin. Most people, like 72% of people are net long, 75, 76. And the way to know that Bitcoin is going to go up is when you see a dip in net longs. And so, you know, this is one of the reasons why our room got to watch me and Crypto Nikos increase our entire book right here. So we hit these yearly lows. And at that time, the net longs were at a low. They were at like 72%, which is like still most people are net long, but they had been like 75% the week before, 78% the week before, that kind of thing. I mean, I'm pulling numbers out of the cloud, but that's basically what it looked like from a conceptual point of view. And so when I saw this jump right here, and then I saw this jump right here, I'm like, okay, you know, we've seen a dip in net longs. And so I did all my research. I did a big 3-page report. It took me hours. And I, you know, put it out, I put it on TradingView, but I put it in the room first before I made my moves. And we all, you know, I got out kind of like up here. We had another wave up. I usually only, you know, the market usually travels in threes. So 1 wave, 2 wave, 3 waves, called the Elliott wave. Doesn't always happen, but you know, and with Bitcoin especially, it doesn't always happen. But your hard moves up tend to go in waves of 3. And I saw wave number 2, and I just kind of sold out, not right at the top, but kind of in this area. My entire book in US dollars went up by 15%. So, I mean, you know, and that's just the kind of thing that if you know what to look for, you can get that. In the worst market, you know, at 3,100, when we've hit yearly lows, I knew to get in at about 32.80 in this, you know, for Binance price. And I rode it all the way up to like 38. You know, we killed it. So it's one of those things like, you know, you have a lot of people who got in at 12,000 and they're dying on the vine and, crypto sucks. You can't make any money. Well, that's funny because I just made 15% on my entire book in a day. You know, in 2 days, really, 2 or 3 days. You know, think about that. There are a lot of opportunities. Most people are followers of the herd. And a lot of people, and the herd's just not educated. It's just all there is to it. They're not educated. It doesn't make them bad people, doesn't make them stupid. It just makes them ignorant, which ignorant sounds bad, but all it means is that they've not informed themselves. So somebody like me who is obsessed will, for lack of a better term, let's use the word dedicated. You know, I know where I can come into this market in the worst market ever and make 15% in 3 days. You know, I mean, I don't know, V, what are your thoughts on where we are at in the crypto market? And like, I mean, what if you knew the future, or what if you looked at the past? What would you think of?
I think that was I'm telling you right now, man, this is it's 2016 all over again. You know, this is how it was last year. I mean, not last year, but you know, 2 years ago in 2016, 3 years ago at this point. You know, it was bouncing around between $500 or $600. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yep. And everybody was sitting around thinking, does this thing have legs? And every other week there was a report out that Bitcoin's dead. And now, since you and I have kind of, you know, dipped our toes into you know, the OTC world and seeing all the movements that are happening over there, things are alive and kicking. And there's so much movement happening in the back end. Why? Why is it happening in the back end? Because the people that are involved that are playing this game understand the future. They understand the bigger trend here. And so we are exactly where we were in 2016. So if you have an opportunity to jump in, you want to jump in now. This is why I don't understand people. You want to come in on the lows, but people don't do that. People do the exact opposite. Just like the average American investor. The average American investor, folks, he buys high and sells low. It's the dumbest thing in the world. He doesn't know how to take profit. And here's the deal. You know, I was on a conference call earlier today, and there's a major stock trading company. They traded stocks, they traded bonds, they traded, you know, a couple of things, and they kind of do what we do at the Watch and Trade room. They were literally, they had a room of over 5,000 people. Okay, 5,000 people. Today they have less than 300. Okay. And here you have the Watchers Trade Room, which has been very healthy. People staying in through the worst bear market ever. And the numbers that Cowboy and Z have been able to generate, the type of returns, have been absolutely astronomical. Okay, Absolutely just tremendous numbers. Folks, the reason why I say that is this. If you're doing killer numbers in a bear market, and so many people are still staying on, so many people are the numbers are being added daily, you need to get in when it's low. You ain't gotta wait until it's let me jump back in at 6,000-7,000. No, you want to get it now. Now, why? Because now is the cheapest, most effective way for you to build your stash, build your hodl bag, so to speak. So when the bull market comes, and it's coming, we are weeks away from that bull market really rip roaring. Then what are you going to do? You want to come in at that point? No, you come in now. You're going to make a killing on the way up. Watch Z and Cowboy and how they do things and learn. That's what you're here for. You're here for the greatest life lesson you can possibly do. And folks, it is the best thing to generate a secondary income for yourself. I can't find a better gig. I really can't. And I'm telling you, if you have Wall Street trading groups that have 5,000 members during a bull market, that their membership has pretty much crapped the bed. What does it tell you about the Watch and Trade Room during the worst bear market? That they're returning over 2,600% in returns. Tremendous opportunity. We are where we were in 2016. Are you going to let the boat go by? Are you going to once again let the train leave the station? That's the question that everybody needs to ask themselves. And that's just what I got to say, brother.
Yeah, that's, it's one of those things where back in the bear market, I know 2014 was kind of like a nuclear winter after the Mt. Gox thing. So a lot of people got crushed out of crypto. They FOMO'd in at the top, and then just like they did in 2017. Now, the people who, made millions of dollars out of nothing were the ones who stuck with it. They traded smart. They, maybe they lost all their money, but they stayed in it because they realized that, okay, this thing goes up, this thing goes down. So if I knew that it was going to go up, I would have looked at a market that looked terrible, and I would have gotten in while the market was terrible. If I knew for a fact, hey, it's going to go up, it might go down a little bit, but eventually, according to everything I'm seeing, it's going to go up. If I knew it would go up, I would have even if I was just losing money, I would have done everything I could do to learn how to take advantage of that trade. Not just getting in and going on and doing a bunch of other stuff. I would learn how to actually make money during the bear market, get lean and mean. So when the bull market came, I could slay it. And actually that's what I ended up doing just by, I don't want to say sheer luck, but I got in 2 years ago almost. Actually, yeah, literally 2 years ago. So, Bitcoin was I don't know, $1,000 or something. Maybe a little bit higher than that, but I think it was 1,200. So I got in at that time, and we saw it go way high. We saw it die. We saw it, go up to 5,000. We saw it go back down to 1,500. I mean, we saw the China FUD when there's nothing going on for 4 months, 2 summers ago. Everybody lost all their money. Did I freak out with China FUD? No, I stuck with it. I just learned how to trade. I learned how to make money in that market. And because I was in, yeah, sure. When the big dips came, that took a little chunk out of my portfolio. But then I got back in at the bottom and I made that chunk back. I clawed it back. But I knew, I had a feeling, and I knew that Bitcoin was going to be huge. And, because I was positioned in the market at that time, just only because I was positioned in crypto, it exploded. And, I took profit at the top. I didn't take as much as I liked, but I certainly am way ahead from where I was before. And, I'm getting better and better at it. So yeah, this is, it's the same thing. I am now in that same opportunity that I was in 2 years ago. I'm just a hell of a lot better at doing it. So when the next bull market comes, I know that I'll be a millionaire just by virtue of trading.
Yep.
And what do I trade? Forex, I trade stocks, I trade everything. So, and basically, yeah, it's just such a great thing to be able to do if you understand that world. So
absolutely, very well said. And with that being said, folks, go check it out. WatchersTrade.io, WatchersTrade.io, or you go to WUT.live, WUT.live. Join the room. Join the room. You have all sorts of payment options, 3-month options. You have month to month. You got crypto payment options, and the best deals run right now. 7 for 7, 7 for 7, 7 for 7, $7 for 7 days of trading. Check it out. You can't beat that with a stick. Make it happen for yourself. Jump on in and make a killing. Jump on in, learn how it's done. Jump on in and then use your earnings to pay your free memberships. It's the best way to do it. 7 for 7. And with that being said, we're over and out.